Welcome back, everyone, to Northwest Digital News. I'm Kevin Hunter with Chris Bornstad, Kyle Torgerson here at the news desk. We have a great show for you guys today, and we have a fantastic guest, longtime friend of mine from back in the Midwest. We're going to be talking about how to make fire-baked pizza and do it properly, and from somebody who's actually spent some time in Italy. But before we do that, let's let people know what's going on in the weather, Kyle.
The weather today's going to be a high of 53 and a low of 40. There will be morning showers the next 3 days. You can expect partly cloudy weather with an average of a high 50 and a low 36.
All right, and look at all that sun in the forecast. Well, we have Frank Galli on the line with us, and a little bit of backstory. And Frank, you can fix anything that I'm sharing here with our viewing audience if I misstate any of this, but Frank went and spent a good long time over in Italy before he opened up this restaurant in Elk River, Minnesota, and called it Pompeii Pizzeria. This is one of the stops that my wife and I make whenever we have a chance to travel back to the Midwest. We make it a point to stop by Pompeii. It's been a 5-star best restaurant voted several times in the state of Minnesota. And Frank, there's a whole different game, isn't there, when you start heating up a pizza to 700 degrees and baking it for just a couple of minutes?
That is true. You almost have to reverse engineer it.
Yes. So talk about your trip to Italy and what that learning experience was like, and then we'll visit about some of the things you have on the menu at Pompeii Pizzeria.
Well, my wife and I spent quite a bit of time in Italy. I've been in Italy 4 times in my life. When we were there 9 years ago, we spent most of our time in Naples. They make the best pizzas in the world in Naples. Anybody who knows much about pizza, if you go to Rome or go to Milan, they don't make good pizza. They don't have the crust down. The pizzas in Rome taste like, I don't know what, cracker crust. In Naples, they taste crisp but luxurious. Mm-hmm. It's funny, one of the biggest pizzerias and the most successful in Naples is Gino Sorbio. Since I was at Gino Sorbio's 9 years ago, he now has a location in Milan, New York City, and Rome. All that in the last 9 years, more like the last 5 years, really.
Wow.
So that shows how that's the number one kingpin guy in Naples, Gino Sorbio, and he's now in some of the biggest cities in the world only.
So I'm curious, Frank, what do you think some of these fire-baked pizza places, because there's various restaurants around the country that are attempting to do this, and I would say that based on a recent experience we had at a fire-baked pizza place, that they're doing an okay job, but you know, Chris and Kyle, who are at the table with me, will tell you that the first thing I said out of my mouth when we started eating the pizza, which it was good, but we started eating the pizza and I was like, you know, you guys, this is good pizza, but it's nothing like a real fire-baked pizza. And Frank, you got this down to a science. What do you think these guys are doing wrong that are marketing their product as fire-baked pizza, and yet they're missing the mark?
Well, probably the biggest thing they're doing wrong is they're not buying Italian flour. They make 00 flour in Italy, and the Italians are masters at sourcing. They don't grow coffee in Italy, and they don't grow much wheat in Italy, but they have the best espresso and the best pizza flour in the world. They're masters at sourcing the right wheat and the right types of wheat, and masters at processing it. Mm-hmm. And, you know, people who try to use high-gluten flour or try to use some kind of American flour, the crust never tastes good. That's my experience.
Yeah, well, I think we have experienced that. So how about like cheeses, sauces, things like that?
Well, at Pompeii in Minnesota, we stretch our mozzarella cheese from curd every day. Huge part of what we do. And the kind of flour that we use at our restaurant is the same flour that I found in the back room at Da Michele in Naples, which is probably the second best in the world. Mm-hmm. And we try to do what they do. And it's funny that so many other places in Italy don't really have it down what they do in Naples. Mm-hmm. And you probably think that's stretching the truth, but even Rome, which is not that far from Naples, not have very great pizza crust.
Mm-hmm.
Until Gino Sorbio opened up there about 6 months ago. I bet he's doing quite well.
Totally agree. So, of the menu things that you have put in the restaurant there, Frank, do you have a personal favorite? And if so, what would it be?
Well, we do a lot of white sauce pizzas, and we use creme fraiche on our white sauce pizzas. I don't see that much in Italy. I guess you do see some, but not so much. But we do a pizza that's pistachios and rosemary. Mm-hmm. Pistachios are a big thing in Italy, and particularly a big thing in Sicily. Mm-hmm. We have a customer who comes in and she's really been a big customer for the last 6 months, and she gets a lot of pistachio rosemaries, and she spent last summer in Sicily. She said they love the cannoli with pistachios and the pizzas with pistachios. That's one of my favorites, too.
Very nice. So for people who are unfamiliar with a proper bake process and what temperatures, could you explain what temp you're cooking the pizza at and for how long?
Yeah, we cook them here at Pompeii. It's usually 750 to 800, right in that window. We cook them for maybe 2.5 minutes. In Naples, I sat at Pizzeria El Presidente that served Bill Clinton in Naples, one of the better ones. And we had lunch there, and I sat about 6 feet from the oven with a wristwatch on with a second hand on it. Not one pizza, and they did hundreds of pizzas at lunch. Not one pizza was in the oven for more than 55 seconds, and I'm not exaggerating. That's how hot the ovens are there. And that's why you have to reverse engineer a really, really wet crust to be able to take that kind of temperature and not get overdone in a minute.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned to me at one time, because we've talked about this subject before, you mentioned to me at one time that at those kind of temperatures, if you're not using the proper ingredients, not only do you burn the crust and the cheeses, etc., but you don't end up with a very good end product at those temps. Is that correct?
Well, and that's one reason why Neapolitan pizza only uses fresh mozzarella, not semi-dry mozzarella like you'd have on a regular American pizza, because at that temperature, regular mozzarella virtually, turns to rubber. It's really hard, where fresh mozzarella has so much moisture in it that it's able to, still be tender when it comes out after a minute or two at that temperature.
Well, Frank, it's always a pleasure to talk with you, and we are huge connoisseurs and fans of pizza, love fire-baked pizza, and in my travels around the Pacific Northwest, I've attempted to find somebody who makes pizza anything like Frank Galli in Elk River. You still have the #1 spot, in my opinion, and in the travels that I've made around the country. So you went and visited the right place, and when you say the people in Naples are the best, I have no doubt about that, because while I didn't go to Italy with you and didn't do this discovery along with you, the end product speaks for itself.
Thank you, Kevin. You're too kind.
All right. Well, take care, Frank. You have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoy that sub-zero temperature you have in Minnesota right now. But you got a nice warm place to stand next to with this nice hot oven. So take care. Hope to chat again with you sometime down the road.
Thanks a lot. Have a great day in Seattle, everybody. Bye.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. All right. So that's Frank Galli from Pompeii Pizzeria. You guys, you see how much thought and consideration and homework has to go into making a fire-baked pizza and making it properly?
It's really hard for me to judge, Kevin, because I haven't tried a piece of that pizza. And so I can't compare it to, what we have locally.
Yes.
So it makes it difficult. I keep hearing, that fire-baked pizza just isn't the same out here as it is on the East Coast. But, we just don't have it. I mean, just like our community doesn't have an Italian restaurant. I mean, our community is just challenged. By the way, Carl's Jr. opened today.
Carl's Jr. opened today. On that note, Carl's Jr. opened today. Yes.
My inside sources have told me that Carl's Jr. is open today in Longview, Washington. Did you guys see that we have a local newspaper that reported on this new business opening up, this Carl's Jr.
Mm-hmm.
The newspaper got everything about this business wrong. in the newspaper, including the times that they were going to be open to what they serve on the menu. They're like, these guys serve tacos and all. I mean, this is Carl's Jr. we're talking about here.
Yeah.
And so our local newspaper got this one really wrong. We'll have to go review them and show our local newspaper how it's really done. Do the review after the restaurant opens, not before. That way you can learn a little bit more about it, like what they have. It's not like it's that difficult. I mean, it's Carl's Jr.'s burgers, fries. But they couldn't get it right. They couldn't get something that simple right.
Could not get it right.
Can you believe that?
I can actually believe it, yes.
I could probably get one of the fry cooks up and interview him on the show.
We
Do
don't
you
want to
have
give
any
any
connections?
sources away.
Do you have any connections in the business?
I can't guarantee that I know any sources or am,
There's a little bit of
connected.
local news today. Carl's Jr.'s opens up in Longview. If you want to go try and wait in that mess for a burger, go for it. Well, you
There
better
you
believe.
go.
I bet you it's going to be pretty packed today. So.
Well, we said last week, because we ran out of time, that we're going to share with people basically a shopping list that you might consider as far as food is concerned around your grocery store. Stephanie agreed to jump on the line with us here in just a moment. But before we do all of that, we have a new little part that we're adding to our Wednesday show. I had to lean off the desk here for it. It's called What's in the Box. Now, I intentionally, you guys look at this, it's transparent. I intentionally put blue on it so it would look like a transparent box.
Is that your box, Kyle?
is this my box?
Is that Kyle's
That
box?
is actually, there's two things in there, and they're for
there's
these
two-
two guys
oh,
here at the
those-
broadcast desk. Now, here's the thing, you guys.
Uh-oh.
Every single What's in the Box episode we do here on the show will involve Chris and Kyle. Who knows? Maybe they'll get clever and turn the tables on me. But I may or may not tell one of them what's in the box. But they are forbidden from telling the other one if I have told them. So I may or may not have told Chris what's in the box. And I may or may not have told Kyle what's in the box. Or I may or may not have told either one of them what's in the box. But it's their job to guess what's in the box. So the thing that Chris and Kyle, you both need to be aware of is your buddy who's helping you guess what's in the box might actually be leading you astray.
Oh, no.
That's what it is.
Well,
so you guys, what are your questions about what's in the box?
So my first question is, Kevin, is there free money in this box? I keep hearing about free money, and so I'm trying to
No.
finally find some free money of my own.
You're catching the thing because these are only yes and no answers that I'll give to the question.
So no, it's not free money.
It's not free money, Kyle.
No free money.
Does
You
it
can
have-
shake it if you want.
It doesn't move. Does it have to do with anything technology related?
No.
Do you put something in it?
Do you put something in whatever in the box?
Do you put coffee in it?
That's a kind of yeah, I guess.
Now, see, this isn't fair because
You're getting warm.
I'm getting warm. Okay.
Yeah.
Warm.
Is it a coffee maker for the studio?
No.
No.
Oh.
Boy, that got me excited though.
It's not technology. It's not free money, so that says a lot. You could put coffee in it.
I just said it's coffee related.
It's coffee
I
related.
didn't say you could put coffee in it, but I did say it was coffee related.
Coffee related. Does it have to do with anything related to our sponsor?
No.
Did you tell us that you were getting this item before? In the past?
No.
No. Okay. We have to clarify because he said that he was going to buy his coffee cups, and so I was thinking maybe these were coffee cups.
No.
Is it a coffee brewer? I don't know really what it's called.
No.
No.
You guys, the viewers, if you want to chime
Yeah,
in suggestions
please.
for these guys for questions, you're more than welcome to do so. All they have figured out at this point is it's coffee related. But other than that, they have not figured it out.
Technically, okay. Does it involve anything related to food?
Yes.
Am I going to break it if I shake it too hard?
Nope.
Nope.
It'd be impossible to break it. You could put it on a paint shaker.
Is there supposed to be a rattle?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it supposed to sound broken?
Yes.
Okay.
That may or may not be to throw you off.
Oh man.
All right, you guys. While they
Sounds
are
like
thinking,
crayons rolling around in there.
while they are thinking about better questions, we're going to call Stephanie.
Better question.
Yes. No,
These
those are
are
great questions.
top-tier
yes.
questions.
Yeah, they're top tier questions.
But-
Yes. While they're thinking about those questions, we're going to get Stephanie on the line and talk about this grocery shopping list. You know, maybe Stephanie wants to help them solve the mystery.
Is it something that you can wear?
No. But people have worn it.
People
You're not supposed to wear it, but people have worn it.
aren't supposed to wear it.
People have worn it. They aren't supposed to wear it.
Yeah. You want a better clue? There was somebody at McDonald's who wore it a long time ago, but they shouldn't have wore it.
Does it have 4-letter words on it?
Actually, there is a 4-letter word on it. Yes. Stephanie, Kevin, and Chris and Kyle at the broadcast desk here in Northwest Digital News. We promised folks last week that we were going to share a food shopping list. So wondering if you could help us out and kind of walk us through a store and tell people like what kinds of foods they might be considering when they go grocery shopping. Now here, I want to say this before we start. I have 2 foods that are sitting here on the desk today. You didn't see them because they're off camera. But one is a grapefruit and the other is an avocado. Now these are 2 things that I think we pretty much each consume one of these a day, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Sure do.
So the reason why I show these 2 pieces, like if somebody's going grocery shopping and you're wondering what to get and you're not sure if you're making right food choices or any of these kinds of things, if you consume an avocado every day, I promise you, just because of the fat that's in here and all the great nutrients that are in it, but just because it's an avocado, you will eat less of the other bad foods. That's guaranteed.
Exactly.
And if you get yourself a grapefruit, I actually just peel this and eat it like an orange. We've been doing apple cider vinegar and water and stuff like that, so we're used to the tart flavor anyway. But if you eat a grapefruit a day, this is dynamite great for your digestive system. So grapefruit and avocado, make those 2 foods a part of your daily diet. Okay.
Are they keys to our own Pompeii fire-baked pizza restaurant?
No. Stephanie,
That would be awesome.
they're trying to guess what's in this box. You have a clue what's in the box, but if you would like to give them some clues to help solve it, you're welcome to.
Is there a little man in the box?
No.
A little hand.
There is, on my shopping list, is something in the box.
Oh.
Okay, so it's on the list here somewhere. Are you ready for it? I just shared it to Northwest Digital News email if you want to pull it up.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not going to pull it up because I want to guess it. But
Oh,
Is it coffee-flavored water?
No.
No.
can it be ground up?
Yeah, that's a good guess, isn't it, Steph? Yeah.
yes.
Is it around seed type? Like, is it a seed or like a grain?
What's your answer to that, Steph?
Warm.
Huh?
Getting warm. Getting warm.
Getting warm.
Is it like hemp seeds?
No.
Almond flour.
No, it's not a nut.
It's not a nut.
Is it a flour?
No.
No. But it is food.
Does
You-
chat
you
want to
can
help us
consume
out
it,
with
yeah.
this?
Isn't it weird that you can consume it and some people have worn it, but they shouldn't wear it? Like the person at McDonald's. See, I gave him the clue that a person at McDonald's wore this.
So we have
See,
a
the
comment.
only thing I
Really?
can think of is that you wore egg on your face when you say that. So
Well, that's
Is
you're
it-
headed in the right direction, but it's not an egg.
So Becky Hill says coffee beans.
Well, she's pretty hot.
You have some help, a lifeline online.
I like to phone a friend.
I like to
Yeah,
phone a
phone a
friend.
friend.
Oh, man.
All right, you guys, you're close enough. Open up the box.
Open the box, Kyle.
Okay, to our viewers in the Europe countries where knives are illegal, do not look.
Wait, knives are illegal?
Yeah, do you not know about that? They literally stopped a guy.
Becky Hill,
I thought
thanks
it was
for the
I thought it was a
assist here
joke,
for Kyle
dude.
and Chris. They needed it.
Yeah, it's true.
Is it Northwest Digital News Coffee?
You can, it could be, yeah. Particularly for you, Chris, yes. See, there's a 4-letter word on it.
Mega Blend.
Bold American coffee?
Where did you
Show the
guys find
viewers.
this? Oh, dude, that's the best. We could make America great on the show every morning.
Oh, that smells great.
This is from Thrasher's Coffee, you guys. And I saw this online, and I saw the MAGA thing on the thing, and I'm going, Chris would be
Yeah, we'll
delirious
buy that.
to have some MAGA coffee. So, yeah. Becky Hill, thanks for the assist.
Thank you, Becky Hill. Wow, look at that. What a great guess.
You know, I'm all, oh, it's already pre-ground.
All right, let's do this before Stephanie runs out of time on her end. Let's cover this grocery shopping list. These guys are peeling open these bags because they want to smell this coffee.
Oh, man. I
You
can,
know I want
I can already
Yeah.
smell it because it has those little dots on the sides, but I want to smell it
You know what?
more.
This smells great. And not only does it smell great, it smells
Smells great
extremely
again.
rich.
Does it smell great
smells
again?
Great again.
I just,
No, it's got a really good smell to it, you guys. It's got like a.
I can smell it, and you got the bag open.
I can't place. It's like a.
it smells like Fortunate Son's supposed to be playing.
Fortunate Son.
You know the song?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
City
too funny.
All right.
Thanks, Kevin. Who makes this stuff? This is made by who?
Thrasher Coffee.
I wonder if they have to pay our president.
I don't know. They have. If you go to Thrasher Coffee, you'll find all forms of MAGA coffee there.
So, Thrasher Coffee is located in the beautiful hills of Dallas, Georgia. We are family owned and operated American business. Our mission is simple to fuel the conservative revolution. We are proud to be a part of, to make America great again. Thank you for supporting small businesses.
Marketing. Boy, these guys know how to do it.
There you
It's
go.
too funny.
There you go. Well, I thought in particular that Chris would be delighted to have some MAGA coffee.
Yeah, no, I
And
am.
you
I'm
asked
really
if there's a
excited.
4-letter word on it.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, MAGA.
Now, we need to. We actually there was a Republican born this weekend, Kevin, in Kelso, Washington. A Republican, actual Republican, and this Republican is under the age of 20.
Yeah, it's
This
crazy.
this gentleman showed up to a Second Amendment rally that we had on Sunday, and by the time he left, he was ready to. He had heard what he needed to hear, and is totally taken on going for the Republican Party, and even talked with the chair of the Republican Party locally.
Maybe he'd like to have a MAGA
I
brew.
think that we should get him one of these bags of coffee to welcome him with open arms, because we need more young people to be involved in politics and not
Yeah,
on
get
the
involved.
left side. We need people on the right.
I told you he'd like MAGA coffee.
Who
All right.
wouldn't like MAGA coffee? I think we should give this one a bag of this to every Democratic friend that we have. So, like, we need like 2 or 3 bags of coffee. I mean,
All right, you guys, let's, hey, throw the floor plan of the store up in the background. And, of course, we can share Stephanie's grocery shopping list now because you got this figured out. But let's put the floor plan of the store in the background. Because here's the really interesting part. Even though we're talking, Steph's going to walk you through like one of our local stores. Winco? Are we going to talk about Winco today, Steph?
Yes, Winco is right here for most things. They actually have a decent selection of organic items. And then I personally visit Grocery Outlet or Fred Meyer to get some of these specialty organic items or baking items perhaps, but for the most part, Winco.
Okay. All right. So the start us from you go in the front door of the store. Here's something that everybody should know. It doesn't really matter which store you go into, but for most grocery stores, when you come in the front doors, you're either going to make a hard left or you're going to make a hard right. And you guys, why would you make a hard left or you make a hard right going in the front of the store?
Well, if anybody that I don't know has paid attention over the last 10 or 15 years to anything that's on the news, one of the things that we've learned is that everything on the outside of the aisle of the grocery store is actually better for you than everything on the inside of the grocery store.
The real food, bingo. The real food is on the perimeter of the store. So if you come in the front door and you go straight ahead, you're probably walking into the bread and the chips and the donuts. And
it's usually why the milk and other essential items are usually put to the back of the store, so that you have to walk by all the traps that they have set up throughout the store.
Yes, okay.
Including the people handing out free food, going, here,
try this. Deep fried Twinkie.
Yeah, it's good for you.
Yeah. All right. So start us off in the front of the store. You go into Winco. You're going to make a hard right and head right down to fruits and vegetables. What are some of the foods you're going to pull out of that section?
Okay. For my smoothies, I always get the greenest bananas that I can find. I buy organic spinach, avocados, at least one per day for our family, and pineapple. I get at least 2. I like to buy a lot of citrus. We get grapefruits, lemons, limes for juicing or just eating. And for salads, I always get romaine lettuce, mushrooms, carrots, broccoli, and you have to most grocery stores, the organic vegetables are kind of off to one side. Go to that aisle, find as many things as you can. If there's a certain vegetable you can't get, go ahead and buy the regular one, but try to stick to the organic side if you can. So my cart is already a third full because I stock up on fruits and vegetables. And then at Winco, the next place I hit is the bulk section.
Okay, hold on. Before you go to bulk section, I want you to explain to people why you buy green bananas. And for our much aged audience, if you're old enough that you shouldn't buy green bananas, no, I'm just kidding. That's a bad joke. But
oh, geez.
Yeah. You hear people say, "I'm old enough, I don't buy any green bananas." No, everybody should buy green bananas. Explain why.
Yeah. Okay. On my list, I wrote RS, but resistant starch is just a food that green banana or raw potato, I don't like the taste, but does the same thing. It goes through your gut and feeds the flora. So by
in
eating
your
resistant starch.
In your large intestine. It feeds the flora in your large intestine.
Yep. Okay, so I'm shopping for smoothies and salads pretty much every day in our house is what we're going to eat for fruits and vegetables. And we only eat twice a day, so every meal is really centered around fruits and vegetables. So after that, in the bulk section, I buy raw nuts, and I soak them in brine and roast them myself. If you buy nuts that are fried in oils, you're getting peanut oil or canola oil or vegetable oil, other oils that aren't good for you. So go right for the raw nut. At home, I put them in a saltwater brine overnight, and you pour off the water and then bake the nuts to the crispness that you like. We can talk about that again later, but I like to get almonds, cashews, walnuts. Those are really good for that process. Then I pick up some bulk tea that's there. They're very inexpensive, and you can get as much tea as you want. Spices. I like to use the bulk spices because they're very inexpensive.
People shouldn't drink too much tea, and why is that?
Because then you drown in your tea pee. Jeez, Kevin, that joke has been at our house for so long.
I was actually a bit worried because I love tea and I drink it all the time.
I could see the concern on Kyle's face.
I was freaking out.
Oh, wait, I shouldn't drink much tea. Yeah.
I bought
You don't want to drown in your teepee.
I bought 300 packets the other day.
Go ahead.
All right.
Let's take us to the seasonings, the curry, turmeric.
Seasoning, okay. So the basis of all of my seasoning is actually sea salt, and most things have black pepper on them. The kids can eat black pepper, but we use cayenne pepper, red hot cayenne pepper for ourselves. And then if you look up spices that have a lot of antioxidants or are rich in color, like curry or turmeric or just anything that's brightly colored, you can get your oregano or basil, things that are that have rich color and they're full of antioxidants are good for your foods. you can spend a long time there in the bulk spices, and I suggest you do. After that, I hit up the stuff I need for baking, and I do paleo baking.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking for almond flour, coconut flour. I also use arrowroot starch or tapioca starch, because when you mix that into the nut flours, it gives it just a little bit of body. It is a little bit of a carb, but only enough to, make it stand up correctly. But it's not a lot of carbs. And I have coconut sugar on the list there. You can find that in the bulk section. That's considered part of paleo baking if you want to use coconut sugar. Further down the list, you'll see my mention of maple syrup. Okay, last but not least, hemp seeds. I put hemp seeds in my smoothie. If I need a workout recovery drink, I have hemp seeds that I've soaked in water so they disintegrate in the blender. They're so nutritious, one of the most nutritious foods on the whole list.
If you haven't had blended hemp seed coffee, oh, that's awesome.
It is so good.
Yes.
Yeah, totally. You just have to get them to break down. So like I said, you soak them overnight, and the next day they will disintegrate. People buy hemp milk. It's quite costly. You can make it yourself with the same process. So consider hemp seeds for your diet. The last thing I like to get from bulk is quinoa. Quinoa is a seed, and it does have carbohydrates in it, but I use it for the times that I need to recarb. So like on the weekend, after I've been working out hard all week, I like to use quinoa as one of the things that to refill the muscles with their glycogen stores. So when I'm looking for a treat, it's quinoa, because it's just like hemp. It is full of nutrients, and it's a what do you call it when the protein is full? It's a full protein, right?
Yep.
It's not incomplete. It's a complete protein.
Has
That's
all
word.
the
Thank you.
necessary amino acids.
Yes, a complete protein. So for your vegetarian friends, get quinoa. Okay, so just trying to move along here. In the meat section, the words you want to look for are grass-fed, organic, and you want to make sure that things don't have preservatives. It's tricky because you'll look at a meat package and it will say, not preserved with BHT, and you turn it over and there's propylene glycol in it. That's really, the sausages have that all the time, and you're like, that's still not a food item. If you cannot pronounce it and it's in your meat, you don't want to eat it. The best I found, like when I'll buy some bacon and it will say celery salt, and from the vegetable celery, right?
Mm-hmm.
Celery salt is a naturally occurring preservative. If it's got that, you can pronounce it. It's fine. You can eat that. So the meats I like to get, we eat ground beef probably every other day. So you can find organic grass-fed beef. The cuts of beef are harder to find, and they're much more spendy than ground meat that's got the better quality. So that's what I go for. Chicken, you can always find like organic, free-range kind of chickens. We like to use chicken breast and add our own fats into it, but thighs and legs are good too if you like the animal fat taste. Ground chicken or ground turkey, I like to get that so we have the benefit of the turkey, the tryptophan, probably once a week. It was great having the holidays because I have a freezer full of little bags of turkey, and once a week we're eating turkey just to make sure that we're sleeping well.
So you guys, you know now why the chicken crossed the road? He's a free-range chicken. He can go wherever he wants to go. So when he crosses the road, hopefully he's coming your direction, and then you can have chicken dinner.
Yes. And if it's a free-range chicken, she's going to go lay her eggs in a weird place, and you got to go find them.
Yeah. Yes, there you go.
So then go ahead and buy some bacon. In general, pork is not produced in a free-range organic way. I mean, at Winco, perhaps in another store or at your own butcher, you can find pork that's produced in a much healthier way. But as far as meat is concerned, pork is not the healthiest. As far as even iron content or anything else, it's just a taste good meat. So I will buy, if I need a quick meal, I'll buy sausages that I have determined don't have preservatives in them. There's a brand called Silva, S-I-L-V-A, that's pretty good. We keep some of those in the freezer handy. And then I do buy a little bit of ground pork to mix into the beef for flavoring. My kids, they don't mind the ground beef, but if a little bit of ground pork's mixed into it, say 1 part pork and 2 parts beef, it gives it a little bit more flavor, and they tend to chow it right down. Okay, so let's move on to dairy.
Okay, hold on real quick. Chris, you got a question?
I just read an article the other day that said pork is actually a really healthy meat because it has all the right kind of fats in it that we need. But you're telling me it's more of like a junk meat that's not good for us?
So a cow only eats grain, hopefully, if it's a grass-fed cow. Chickens are supposed to eat only like grasses and grains and things like that. Pigs will consume meat. And whenever you're eating an animal that's eaten another animal, the fish has the same concern. If you're eating an animal that eats another animal that eats another animal, you're going to get all the toxins from all those lower animals moving up into the meat of the higher animal, and it's stored in the fat. So as much as I love bacon and ground pork, bacon just makes me drool. What happens is the toxins of the toxins of an animal are stored in the fat cells. So if you're going to use pork, if you drain some of the fat off, it's better for you just because of the toxicity of it. If you had your own pigs and you knew what you fed them and it was the right kind of food for them, it didn't have any toxins or any bad things in it for you, I would say go eat as much pork as you want.
That's basically it. It's just the toxicity in the fat, and a lot of the bacon that you're buying or pork you're buying off the shelf at the grocery store, these pigs are fed anything and everything.
The concern that I have is that a lot of people probably don't have the money to pay for a lot of the things on this list because a lot of it's organic and grass-fed, and those tend to be way, way more expensive, and not just a little bit more expensive. We're talking a lot more expensive.
Okay, Steph, so we have to stop Chris right there, because compared to what our grocery bill was years ago when we ate the typical American diet, compared to now, which direction has the cost of the grocery bill, which direction has it gone, up or down?
The cost has gone down, and now we have 2 children eating with us, and our cost is less. I used to go to this little discount store called Aldi in Minnesota, and you literally walked down the first aisle, hit a little bit of fruits and vegetables, and turned around and came back. The whole store only had 3 aisles, and it was mostly saltine crackers, cheap noodles, cheap bread. I mean, every cheap carbohydrate you can imagine. Fig Newtons. Oh my gosh, Kevin, do you remember the Fig Newtons we used to eat? My goodness.
Yeah.
But anyway, the whole store is full of these inexpensive carbs, but when you consume 5 boxes of them every day, that starts to add up. So, and you still have to get enough protein in your diet, and you have to we were eating a decent amount of, butter and things, but the carbs they bulk you up and they bulk up your budget, and you don't need them.
All right, so let's move through the rest of this so we don't run out of time. Talk about dairy.
Okay, in the dairy section, if you can handle dairy products, like you're not intolerant, go ahead and find your cheeses. I say to buy cheddar cheese as an example. It's a full-fat cheese. Mozzarella is a low-fat cheese. Just if you need mozzarella for recipe, go ahead. But we like the full-fat, usually sharp cheddar cheese. Okay, if you're going to use sour cream for your salad, that's one of my preferred. Half the time I'll have a salad that's with sour cream as the dip over it. Half the time it's like hemp oil or vinegar and oil kind of thing. But if you like sour cream, don't buy the generic stuff. It is always made with corn products. Get real sour cream. So whether it's Land O'Lakes if you're in the Midwest, Tillamook if you're in the West Coast, get the real sour cream. I buy heavy whipping cream, and they do have an organic one at Winco. It does cost more, but when you pour it, it's golden colored, and it's delicious. Just like the Kerrygold butter. It's imported because it says on the label, the cows in Ireland graze freely on green grass and produce this luscious milk. It is. It is the best butter you'll ever eat. In fact, if we binge on butter, we'll definitely eat one of those. It's a cup of butter per piece that you buy, per stick. So it's a double stick. We'll definitely eat one of those every day in our house because it is so delicious. Okay, so if you want to buy whole milk or whatever, go ahead. Do what you need to do based on your dairy tolerance. But if you buy products that are high in fat but don't have the protein in them, like butter and whipping cream, you can maybe not upset your digestion as much. So to each his own in the dairy product. Then you hit up the eggs, and yes, they cost more, but go ahead and buy the free-range organic. They're brown eggs, perfect. We eat a dozen eggs in our house every day. How important is it for us to spend $3 or $4 a dozen versus $1 a dozen? It's not much money overall, but because we're eating it every day, I buy the best eggs I can find. And until our chickens are up and running, we gotta get them at the store. Okay, so in the frozen section, I'm getting frozen berries to mix into smoothies. So hard and so much more expensive to get fresh berries if they're out of season. So get your frozen blueberries, frozen raspberries, blackberries. It says berry after it's got antioxidants in it. They're richly colored, so they have those good health properties. Okay, now look, the last section is in the inside aisles, and it says beware, move quickly. Okay, there's one thing I didn't put on there that I would like to add, and that is fish. Okay, so starting at the top, I say go ahead and buy spring water. You're going to want water all over the place. Leave it in the car, leave it in the trunk, leave it in the desk, leave a bottle by your bedside. You want to remind yourself to drink water as often as possible. Are there better sources of water than bottled water from the store? Yes, but the most important thing is that you are drinking enough water to flush toxins, especially if you're drinking the NDN News coffee. You're flushing toxins and you're in ketosis. You need to get rid of those bad things by drinking enough water. Okay, so here we are, cruising really fast to the store. Buy only organic coffee. It's free of pesticides. Coffee is the number one most heavily pesticided crop out there. Don't put that stuff in your body. It's got to be organic.
So here's what I heard recently from Ray Vandervalk from Red Leaf, and did a little research on this and found this to be, he hit the nail on the head. He said if you drink 1 cup of coffee per day, over here. He said if you drink 1 cup of coffee per day throughout the year, when the year is over, you have drank 8 ounces of pesticides for the year if you are not buying organic coffee.
Yum.
That sounds delicious, doesn't it?
My mouth is just drooling.
Yum. Yeah. I don't want any pest on my insides, so I'm going to eat pesticides.
Don't want no.
Yeah.
No.
All right.
Exactly.
Well, hey,
All right.
Steph, fabulous grocery shopping list. For anybody who would like a copy of that, we can put that also in the notes here on the live stream for you. But thanks for showing that. For those of you who asked, how do we go to the grocery store and shop properly? I'll tell you what, you just got done listening to the queen of a good shopping list. When you look at this whole thing, and some people might say, hey, that sure looks like a lot of high-fat foods in there. I mean, you guys are just going to get all this fat and high cholesterol and poor health and everything else. Well, the person you just heard the shopping list from, also, if you haven't met her, she also looks like a supermodel. It's because the right foods make your body just naturally find its own weight. And so what I tell people is, don't make a weight loss goal for 2019. Make a healthy food goal, and then whatever period of time it takes for your body to find its natural balance, whatever that is, it's okay if it's a year or 2 years or 3 years or whatever. Do it with the food. Don't try to diet. Try to eat the right foods. And when you eat the right foods and you do that long enough over time, you'll find that your body finds its own natural weight. I was actually visiting here just recently with Commissioner Mortensen. I hadn't seen him in maybe, I don't know, a month or 2 or something like that. And he stopped by the studio one day here just recently to visit with us. And the first thing he comments to me, he says, wow, you look thinner again. And it's weird, but I'm not trying to lose any weight. And I'll tell you that I eat as much food as I want to every day, but I eat a ton of food, yes. But it's always the good food. And it's noon, 1 o'clock is my meal time, and the other one's around 6 o'clock. Those are the 2 times a day that I eat. I do an intermittent fast for roughly 16 hours a day. So.
Well, I have to get running here, Kevin. The rest of the list is just your good fat, your good carb like maple syrup, dark chocolate, fermented vegetables like sauerkraut or pickles, apple cider vinegar, unrefined coconut oil, virgin olive oil, fish that has the skin and bones in it, and I just get the heck out of the store after that. Get the good stuff and just leave.
Get the good stuff and run. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
we did miss that part there. Okay, so, we'll read that again for Adam's peanut butter. The pure looks separated in the jar, no hydrogenated oils. Almond butter, pure maple syrup. Yeah, if you're going to use a sweetener, find, Steph mentioned the coconut sugar, the pure cane sugar, pure maple syrup. Here's one of the reasons why, because all of these unrefined, pure naturally occurring sugars are also chock full of minerals. So minerals totally essential to health. So make sure you're doing all that. And then the apple cider vinegar, unrefined coconut oil, virgin olive oil, and then fish. All the essential stuff for health. Well, I'll let you go, Steph. Thanks for joining us here on the call today. And our viewers keep asking for you to come back, so you might have to join us next week, too.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. So, hey, by the way, for our viewing audience, next week, you heard Frank Galli in the beginning of our show here talking about fire-baked pizza. Next week, we have a real treat for you. A gentleman by the name of Phil Luchin, who has actually been, he's like the restaurant impossible guy. He spent many, many years of his life traveling all over the United States, opening up, I don't even know how many stores in every imaginable kind of franchise, but all restaurant-related stuff. And then he opened up Pour Wine Bar and Bistro and stole all the best of the, I don't mean steal, but created a menu made up of all of his favorites from all around the country. So we get to hear from I call him Mr. Restaurant Impossible. That's what he was doing for most of his life. And then he decided to settle down and open his own restaurant. Not that guy. So let's bring Pour Wine Bar and Bistro. So this gentleman that he was showing in the background, that's actually the show, Restaurant Impossible. But Pour Wine Bar and Bistro is Phil Luchin's place. And we'll have Phil on next week to talk about all the amazing stuff that he's done with restaurants and some of his favorite restaurant picks and menu picks that he got a chance to experience over all those years of experience here around this country. Well, we're going to wrap here on Northwest Digital News. A couple things we're going to run out with. Let's roll that tire giveaway from Longview Auto and Tire. We didn't get a chance to do that in the beginning of the show because we were running a little bit late. But let's do that on the way out. And then you'll catch the tail on our show as well if you wish to get involved or be a guest on the show or interested in supporting us in any way. You'll find out how to do that here in just a second. Kevin Hunter with Chris Bornstead, and Kyle Torgerson. Get us out of here, Kyle.
Hey there, have you heard Longview Auto and Tire is giving away free tires? That's right. As their first year of business comes to a close, Roy and Ruben Byman of Longview Auto and Tire want to thank their customers for their generous support with a free tire giveaway. Here's all you have to do. Visit Longview Auto and Tire today at 655 Commerce Avenue near Tennant Way and fill out an entry form. Or go online to longviewtiresales.com/giveaway. Get rolling on free tires from Longview Auto and Tire today. Visit website for complete details.
This concludes today's live programming on Northwest Digital News. Thanks for joining us for this special broadcast. Heard around the world in more than 70 countries on YouTube, Instagram, Patreon, Facebook, and Twitch TV. If you enjoyed a story or guest we had here on Northwest Digital News and would like to strut your stuff on the broadcast, email us today at wainfo2017@gmail.com or call or text to 360-545-3501. We're always interested in unique stories, topics, and guests to share with our worldwide audience. Before you go, don't forget to give us a big thumbs up and comment on the live stream.
And for those of you who'd like to financially support the broadcast, you can do so at patreon.com/Northwest Digital News. We thank you for your patronage. On behalf of Chris Bornstead, Kyle Torgeson, Stephanie Hunter, and all the people that made this broadcast possible, I'm Kevin Hunter. Till next time, take care.